You don't yell at strangers. You don't get short with people who don't matter to you. It's always the ones closest to you, the ones who love you the most, who somehow get the sharpest edge of your patience. And you tell yourself it's because they know how to push your buttons. But maybe your anger isn't about them at all. Maybe it's protecting something much older and much more fragile. Think about the last time you snapped at someone who loves you, not a stranger who cut you off in traffic, not a coworker who annoyed you, someone who actually cares. A partner, a parent, a close friend. Something small happened, a tone of voice, a minor inconvenience, a question asked at the wrong moment. And suddenly you weren't just irritated. You were furious, disproportionately, instantly. Afterward, you probably felt confused, even ashamed, because logically, you know they didn't deserve that. So, why did it happen? Here's what's actually going on. Anger, especially the sudden, sharp kind, is rarely about the moment itself. It's a signal, an alarm bell going off because something underneath feels threatened. And with the people closest to you, what feels threatened is usually vulnerability itself. Think about it this way. Strangers can't hurt you the way people you love can. If a stranger disappoints you, it barely registers. But if someone who loves you disappoints you, even slightly, it touches something much deeper. The old fear that even the people who care about you will eventually let you down, the way someone once did. So, instead of feeling that fear, that ache, that soft and painful vulnerability, your body reaches for something faster and more familiar. Anger. Anger feels powerful. Vulnerability feels dangerous. And when you're not consciously choosing, your nervous system will almost always choose power over exposure. This often traces back further than you'd expect. Maybe you grew up in a home where showing hurt got you ignored, but showing anger got you attention. Maybe sadness made you seem weak, but frustration made you seem strong. Maybe the people who were supposed to comfort you when you were upset instead grew impatient or dismissive, or made you feel like your feelings were too much. So, your body learned an efficient shortcut. Skip the vulnerable feeling entirely and go straight to anger. It's faster. It's safer. It doesn't ask anyone to catch you if you fall. The irony is devastating. The very people who could actually hold your vulnerability, the ones who love you, are the ones who end up absorbing an anger that isn't really about them, because they're safe enough to be angry at, because you know on some level that they'll still be there afterward. Strangers get your patience. The people you trust most get the leftover rawness, the unfiltered edge, the parts of you that never learned a gentler way to say, I'm hurting. Think about a specific pattern in your life. Someone you love says something mildly critical, and instead of feeling the small sting of it, you feel rage. Someone forgets something you asked them to do, and instead of feeling disappointed, you feel explosive. Someone needs a moment of space, and instead of feeling anxious, you feel offended. In each case, anger arrived first, standing guard in front of a feeling that felt too unsafe to expose directly. Here's the twist. Your anger isn't the enemy. It's not proof that you're a bad partner, a difficult person, or someone incapable of love. Your anger has been doing a job, protecting a much softer, much more frightened part of you that never learned it was safe to just say, that hurt my feelings, instead of, why would you do that? The work isn't suppressing the anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's learning to pause in the half second before it takes over and asking yourself, what am I actually feeling underneath this? Am I hurt? Am I scared? Am I feeling unseen or unimportant, or afraid this person is slipping away? Anger will always be louder than vulnerability, but underneath almost every flash of unexplained rage at someone you love, there's a smaller, quieter voice asking to finally be heard. If this is your pattern, you're not a bad person, and you're not broken. You just learned to protect your softness with fire, because somewhere along the way, softness alone wasn't enough to keep you safe. The people who love you aren't asking you to never feel anger again. They're asking for the truth underneath it, the hurt, the fear, the need, the parts of you that have been standing behind the fire this whole time, waiting to finally be let out.